Hello. Today, for my argumentative speech, I have picked the topic of why I feel that regular annual fire inspections are so important. For many years, communities, both large and small, have gone through many changes, none more evident than the increase for more and more buildings to be built to accommodate our daily needs. People go to the store to shop for groceries or clothing, go to work to earn a living, attend school, go to church, grab a bite to eat, attend a local sporting event, or maybe just to catch a movie. The public assumes that they are safe from the dangers of fire, but unfortunately this is not always the case, and we rely on the belief that the building is safe and free from danger. The reality is that there are hidden dangers in every building. The danger of fire is one of the most common hazards every building faces, no matter what the size of the building is, what's in the building, or how new or old it is. The level of risk in these buildings can increase and decrease through different times of the day, different seasons, holidays, or major events. Your local department store will have much more inventory in the weeks prior to Christmas than after the new year. Grocery stores will increase the stock on their shelves right before Thanksgiving or before the possibility of a major storm. Schools are much more active from September through May than during the summer break. The need for properly conducted regular fire inspections performed by a qualified inspector is very important. A properly trained fire inspector will know current NFPA regulations and standards, along with safety issues that, when applied, can greatly help to reduce the risk of fire. This helps to keep the community safe and businesses operational. If a business is destroyed by fire, this creates a loss of tax revenue for the city, along with a loss of merchandise that was purchased from that store, and even a loss of the jobs of the employees that used to work there. Another major point is the loss of a life is something that no community should ever have to face. If a fire claims a life that might have been prevented through fire inspection, then there is no price that can be placed on that type of service. Now, this would seem like a no-brainer that every city everywhere should have regular fire inspections done, but unfortunately this isn't the case. The reality is that many areas cannot afford to hire a full-time fire inspector, and they must rely on the local fire chief to perform this critical task. This is allowed under the authority having jurisdiction rule. However, the chief may not be trained in performing these types of inspections. In larger cities and communities, the job of a fire inspector could easily become a full-time position. Many cities feel that the money for a full-time fire inspector cannot be found, so they must decline to have that position. The fact is that the city administration can actually charge building owners a yearly fee for annual inspections, and if the building must be re-inspected due to any violations that were found, there can be additional fees applied. Here's a chart listing some different fees for different cities for initial inspections. As you can see, Vancouver, for an initial inspection, charges anywhere between $32 to $436 depending on size and type of structure. Washington, D.C., for an initial inspection, charges $100 flat rate for a residential structure and $150 for a commercial structure. Cedar Rapids charges $75 for the first hour of the inspection and $25 for each additional 20 minutes. Texas charges $75 to $300 depending on size and type of structure, and Minneapolis charges $50 to $910 depending on the size of the structure. In time, the funds could be acquired to hire a full-time inspector through these fees. Another reason that municipalities shy away from the use of fire inspectors is that they fear that the inspector will attempt to strong-arm building owners and threaten to shut the building down if they don't comply with their request. The truth is that real inspectors can only shut down the building under extreme circumstances. For example, if the business has an arcing electrical panel or barricaded exit doors, and not for any little violation. The inspector must also have backing documentation that supports every violation found, which, if the infraction is minor, the inspector could not impose such a closing. Business owners also fear that a fire inspector will find all types of violations and it will cost them large sums of money to correct. For the most part, many of the violations can be corrected through minor repairs and usually cost little to accomplish. In the event that larger expensive corrections must be made, the inspector and owner can work out a time frame in which the violations must be corrected. If the owner of the business must replace all the doors in their building because they do not swing out as required by fire code, this can be a very costly repair. The fire inspector may show the owner which doors are of the highest priority first to be changed, and then they can work from there. This is why I feel it is very critical that every jurisdiction must find a willing participant, send them to school to become trained to be a certified fire inspector, and consider to begin charging their businesses for the service, so that in order for someday they are able to employ a fire inspector full-time in order to help keep their community safe and free from the dangers of fire.